Hello, everybody. I hope the music is not too loud. I'm not sure if everyone can hear it or not. Excuse me. I hope everybody is, excuse me. I hope everybody is doing well. And I want to say happy Friday. And we're going to get started in just a minute. We're going to conclude the celebration part two. We have two more previous guests that came on the Driven Life show, and we're going to talk with them just about their special moments and what leaping in time means to them. Excuse me, guys. I think my mouth got dry a little bit. So I hope everybody's having a happy Friday, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, you guys. I don't know if you guys were able to hear the music or not in the back, but hope my mic is not too close to my mouth. But I just want to say thank you for everybody who tuned out last night. I was able to have some awesome women come back and share their moments and share their interview that they had on the show. And also, I was fortunate and very honored to have my co-pastor on come and share and meet the other ladies that she hasn't met. And I hope you guys are tuning in tonight. If you didn't catch the broadcast from last night, the celebration, you can catch it tonight. Um, I'm sorry, you can catch it anytime because even you're going to be able to catch the second broadcast. This broadcast, you will definitely be able to replay it if you're not able to catch it, especially the one from last night. So we're just having an exciting time. We're talking about leaping in time. And, we want you guys to leave your feedback and everything. We are streaming live from WC to Life Coaching Dreams Facebook page. So people on there on Facebook can tune in. And I'm just glad to be back tonight. I know everybody's glad it is Friday. Happy Friday. And I'm happy that it's Friday. I know everybody has been having a busy week. And you guys, I'm going to check my connection. I'm going to play a little bit music. And then I'm going to check my connection to make sure everybody's good to get in. And I hope you guys enjoy the live broadcast tonight. And so I'm just going to make sure that everything is going well. So we'll be right back.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
You guys, can you guys hear me?
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
All right, you guys. I hope you guys can hear me now. You heard a little bit of music. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I was just sending, making sure everybody connection was, I was making sure everybody connection was correct. I hope you guys can hear me. And happy Friday and welcome to the WC to Life. WCD coaching. It's the driven life now. I'm so used to saying women committed to life, you guys, but it's WCD coaching, and the name of the show is the Driven Life Show, and it does stands for Women Committed to Life. It does. So I hope you guys are tuning in wherever you're from. Hello, hello. I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast last night, and we are going to have some guests come in and speak with us that didn't get to speak with us last night. Um, yeah. And so, you guys, I know I didn't share. I'm just going to start off, with myself because I didn't really share for those who don't know exactly what I do. And you pretty much have seen the content on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatnot. And I'm just gonna let you guys know about WCD coaching. So WCD coaching was started first with a podcast, as I explained before. It was started off with the podcast, and then we started building the brand around August of 2020, July, August of 2020, and WCD coaching again stands for, like I said, WC to Life Coaching Dreams Incorporated. And what we do is we support life coaching, career coaching, um, purpose coaching, health coaching, and nutrition coaching. Um, we also have a plant based cosmetic line that is coming. We also have a plant-based cosmetic line that is going to fall up under the health and nutrition website. A little bit about what we do is that for the health and nutrition program, there's a weight management program. There are about 3 process steps, and you have to qualify for the health coaching program. We serve patients with diabetes, rheumatism, whatever disease that you have. For you guys who haven't heard my story before, I battled with rheumatism. And so I started making drastic changes to my body and to my life. or whatnot. And that's what really got me motivated when I wasn't really taking care of myself back in 2016. I was pretty much always told, I'm just going to say that I was always pretty much told um, back ever since I was 13 years old that um, I was positive for rheumatism. And so it got worse and it got severe in 2016. And then that's when I started really targeting my health and my body. As far as life coaching, we serve clients that do not know how to find their purpose. They don't know where to start. Um, as far as even career wise, um, even if you just need mentoring and you need someone to help you to keep you accountable, we serve in those areas as well, because we want each and everyone to fulfill their passion. We want each and everyone to fulfill their purpose, and we also even help keep prospect accountable with even their dreams, even with whether they want to become an entrepreneur or whether they don't want to become an entrepreneur. We want to help them. We want to help them every step of the way, and there's steps and there's process to it. So we know that things don't happen overnight. So there's a process to you know getting your dream started. There's a process to life and where you want to be. There's a process to getting to your purpose, and so we serve in all of those areas. Um, you know, um, also we serve women. So that's what WCD coaching stands for. And when you get to the W, it is women committed to life. So we serve women from all walks of life, every diversity, every color across the nation. And we even study even on business. Whatever your dream is, we want to help you get to that dream. We want to help you build upon that dream, but first you need to be healthy in mind, body, and soul. So that's why I said there's a process when working with WCD coaching, because there's a process to get to those steps. Before you get to that last step, we got to go to the beginning. We got to go back to the beginning to see where that's going to start, and we got to get to the root of the problem. That's what WCD coaching is about. And so that is a little bit about me, you guys. So I just want to start off, and May the 19th was officially our 1 year anniversary on the podcast, and we all are on all podcast platforms. We're on a radio station called VURBL. And the Driven Life Show is just doing great things. Yes, again, in our first season we were named WC to Life on Purpose, and in this season, in season 2, yes, we're on season 2, it is the Driven Life Show. So I'm excited. So you guys, I have um, some guests here with me, and that's going to share with you guys moments about their time. We do have one of our guests that is back today. I know you guys all heard her, Miss Tanzania Bacon. She was on last night broadcast, and we have Minister Alena. Larry Walker here with us tonight. And I'm just going to get some insight from their special moments, from, you know, their experience when they interviewed and how the topic really changed their life or whatnot. And so as soon as they come in the room, we'll be discussing with them, their favorite moments and, how the interview on the podcast changed their life. And I just want to say, even mine, I want to actually just let you guys know that, my favorite episode was complacent. I say that because being complacent was in season 1, and it was the second episode. There were 2 episodes, complacent part 1 and complacent part 2. If you have not caught that episode, I advise you to go back and catch it. But what I just want to say about being complacent, it really spoke to me. It really spoke to me in so many areas, because that, around March of 2020, my purpose had started just redirecting into the right path, and it started changing. And I can remember when I was pretty much just kind of still, kind of stuck in, I know what I'm supposed to do, I know what I need to do, but um, it was like I was kind of fearful of stepping out because I kind of feared the unknown. And we know that, you know, becoming when we're complacent, it's like we're stuck. We're still. We like, oh, I just want to stay here in this place, and I don't want to move because I don't know what's on the other side, and I just got used to this. So I'm just gonna sit here until I think something's gonna happen. But the problem is, nothing is gonna happen until you move. Nothing is gonna happen until nothing's gonna happen until nothing's gonna happen until you get out of that fear and get out of that status quo. Nothing is going to happen until you say, I'm ready to leap in faith. And so it's like you got to stop being scared of where you're at. And as I was teaching on, as I was hosting those two episodes, that really helped me a lot because I knew where I had came from. I knew that I had to pretty much just step out. I had to pretty much just say, Karen, you gotta go, you gotta move, you gotta get out of the boat and you've got to walk. And so that episode really, really, you guys will encourage everyone out there that's listening that um, haven't listened to the episode. That really will speak volumes to your life, especially if you're trying to figure out which way to turn or which direction to go, or if you just know what direction to go in. And then I think that it is important to make sure you're not standing still and that you just keep moving. And so it looks like we have some guests back in the room. Minister Alena, I'm not sure if you're ready to. Hey, Minister Alena, thank you so much for joining. And
Yes,
hey, good to see you.
you too. I'm so proud of you. You're just doing
Thank
so
you.
amazing.
Thank you. You look beautiful.
Thank you, sis. I said I'm not missing my sis. She's doing such good things. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm glad that you're here. So, I just want you to share. I know we did a couple of interviews together last season when we were in the pandemic, and I don't know which one spoke to you or if all of them did, but I know we did a couple of episodes, Proverbs 31, and we did commitment. I just want you to share with everybody what really stuck out to you, and also, what made you leap into your final destination. So there's kind of like three questions here. And I also want you to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yes, yes. Well, first of all, I give honor to God, and I thank you, Karen, just for believing in me, and also being just an amazing friend and sister in the Lord, and one of my biggest cheerleaders. I appreciate you for allowing me to be here today. And I would say it was probably the Proverbs 31 one. The committed one definitely hit home, but it was when we had the Proverbs 31 and we were on the podcast, and Brother Landon ended up just hearing us randomly. It was so powerful. And we ended up talking about commitment, which led to the second one.
Yes.
And I would say it's really those two for me because, God was speaking to me at that time about, okay, now, it's not enough to say that you're committed. It's not enough to do that. But now I'm going to present situations in your life each day where you're going to have to make that decision to choose me. And so your podcast was definitely a catalyst, to God just saying, okay, Alena, daughter, I'm talking to you right now. And so he actually prepared me, around the time of doing your podcast. So I just thank you for being obedient to God. I know that everything that you're doing is very much so from him. And you were just walking in boldness and courageousness and just your anointing. And it's so awesome to see. And just how you're touching everybody from different walks of life, regardless of whether they're Christian, regardless of whether they believe or don't believe. God is using you as a vessel. So I just wanted to say that. for me, regarding my destination or my final destination, or what kind of led me to hop into it, is I always knew as a child I had that love for Christ in my heart. And also in PK, and people say, oh, your parents made you. It's like, no, Jesus was like, nah, like, you're mine. I was like, I'm happy with God. I was so excited, on fire for him. And of course I strayed away when I got older and came back.
Yeah.
But really knowing that within myself, that I was to speak his name, to touch people from all different walks of life, to use my platform for good. And so what's interesting is I realize I can't really put anything in a box, because I've been able to do this through my music, through pageantry, right, through media. I just actually was in my very first film actually a week ago, which is pretty crazy. It'll be on HBO.
Yeah.
So I was really, God is just so great about that. But really just me wanting his will, really me wanting his will, and knowing that it's what I was to do. So that's really how I got there, to my destination, was just saying, God, this is what I'm going to do. And really tuning out the voices of other people, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I know that when I close my eyes, it's me and Jesus. I know at the end of the day, when I was born into this earth, God is the one who had plans for me before the foundations of the world. And so really it's me every day saying, God, I want to do your will. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm pretty much doing, is his will, and I'm happy.
Mm. Thank you so much. Because I kind of remember when we had started, and I asked you to come on. You said you was already in that season of, what does a Proverbs 31 woman mean to me? And I remember you saying that God had gave you that exact scripture that weekend. And so it's just amazing how God, works, and how God speaks to us. And in that season, um, I know that I was learning even as well, because I was coming out of some things even last year
Yeah.
that, I mean, I would say this: I didn't fully come out of them until actually God just yanked me out of them. I mean, I knew what I had to do, and so I think that that was a great topic, even in that season, and being
Right.
able to just tell others our story and be able to encourage others.
Yes.
So, Sister Elena, can you tell actually what it is that you do?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'll start off by saying that I am Alena Walker. I am from Seattle, Washington. I'm a minister at my church, Mount Moriah Seattle Church, but I'm also an American international recording artist by the name of Alena Lurie. I'm also your current reigning Ms. Washington Globe 2021. So I am a pageant queen. I am a spokeswoman. Thank you for the Win Foundation, and I'm preparing to actually compete nationally next month in California for the Miss US of A title. And if I win, I go to China to compete
Awesome.
internationally against the world. And I'm like, and I know, yeah, I'm like, Lord, hey, I'm ready. So I do that, and I also act as well, and I do media services, so social media management, graphics, things of that nature, photography, videography services, like for promo videos. So I'm really like a woman who does many things, but that's what I do professionally.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And yeah, we wear many hats in this room, and I just thank God for everything that He's doing in your life, because I've been seeing you. You've been busy, your content and everything. I'm proud of you. So I'm going to vote. So anyone out there, you got to go vote. And so Sister Elena, before we begin, I want you to leave your information so they can know how to vote or whatever. And Minister Elena, I also have Tanzania Bacon here, and because I know you guys didn't get to meet, and so this is a good thing tonight or whatever. And Tanzania, I don't, if you don't mind, can you tell? I know everybody heard you last night, but most of them didn't. So I want you to tell everybody everything that you do, who you serve, and we've been talking about leaping in time, and so I just want you to share built for us and everything that you do for the community and for the parents.
Awesome.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay, 'cause I'm in the middle of this mountain and it is crazy. So I'm Chancellor Bacon. I am the founder of Built for Us. Built for Us is sorry guys, it is it is for solo parents who have lost a spouse and now they're raising their kids and they're trying to manage and balance life. And so I service these people walking with them through some of the toughest and hardest and darkest times of their life. I do this through my 5 step process, which is when we begin to understand intentional living together, which is called my built process. And we go through a series of things, just reestablishing and restructuring and rebuilding a solid foundation for you and your family. So that's who I am and what I serve. I also wear many hats. So I'm not. I wear tons of hats. But I think I'm supposed to answer about the leaping.
Yes,
Either way,
yes.
okay. So
How
I
did you leap into
okay.
Built for Us?
I leaped into it kind of just trying to get my feet wet because I've always helped parents. I've always single parents always talk to me. I've always been who I am because I am a single parent. But Built for Us was kind of something that was brewing about 2018, and I was like, oh, I want to do it this way, I want to do it that way. But it wasn't until last year that I said, well, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it quietly. And that didn't happen. So I just kind of I had two amazing midwives, Miss Lonnie Atkins, who's a king strategist, and Jennifer McCullum, and they helped me birth my baby. So that is I leaped up there, but I kind of was like getting into. Guy had to come find me because I was high and like, no, not me. Somebody else could do that. But I'm glad that he found me. I'm glad that I'm being obedient even with all the sacrifices. And so that's who I am and what I serve. So leaping has been phenomenal for me. Even with Karen's podcast, I had never been on a podcast. I listen to podcasts, but I've never been on one. And so that kind of just gave me a different perspective on how I can market and how I can brand because I have a story and I'm grateful. I don't look like what I've been through
Yes.
because it could have been the other way, but it did not. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm glad to be here celebrating again. I want to talk. Okay. But so that's who I am and what I do. Thank you.
Thanks, Tansy. I'm just excited for Built for Us again. I'm glad that we're just celebrating because you guys are very dear to me, and that's why I chose you guys to be on the panel for the celebration because I know that you all support WCD Coaches Podcast, and you supported since day one. You've shared, and I think that's like you said, that's what leaping is. You leap into it. You're not sure if you want to, but you're just going ahead and you're just leaping in faith. And like I said, with me just learning media, like Minister Alena was saying, I'm in media and everything. I was learning it. Like, I'm like, what kind of equipment? I was always messing up. Everybody, the people cutting off and everything. I said, well, Lord, I got to keep going through. But I had to keep recording. I was getting frustrated because I was like, I got to record. But it was like, Karen, this is a process. This is something that you've got to learn. This is something that you have to do. And as I practiced and got better at it, I was like, oh, so that's what I can't do. This is what I should do. And it's a learning process because I do believe God wants you to, if you're going to be your own boss and your own entrepreneur, you've got to start off doing things by yourself. And then God is going to connect you with the right people to get them under you. Because when things start getting busy, you're going to need people. But then it's like, okay, and then I just kept going. It's God when you just keep going. You just keep going. But when you're standing still, you're in your own way. You're like, oh, I ain't trying to move. But it's God when you're moving like I don't know what, staying up at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning working, staying up to 3 o'clock in it's God. That's what leaping is. And so Minister Alena, I don't know if you want to piggyback off of what Mrs. Tanzania said before you start talking about how you leaped into what you had to leap into as far as, ministry and entrepreneur, share with everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say, and also so nice to meet you, sis, as well. And that's so awesome, everything that you're doing for God. Just love hearing that. And what I really with Sister Tanzania, what she just said, what really spoke to me was the part about how not looking what you've been through. And a lot of people say that a lot of times, but they don't really understand like when you've been through it, and when you've really been through it and God has so moved in your life,
Yeah.
because a lot of times people do see what you do and your anointing and your call, and they want that or they envy that, but they have no idea the fire and the hell that you had to walk through to even
Yes,
become
Lord
alive.
Jesus.
You understand what I'm saying? So when she said that, that really hit my spirit. So for me, leaping for me has been more so, for me, I had to, even, Sister Karen, me and you met through, also Christian Single CS, which is a Christian
Yeah.
single ministry that God had birthed through me back in 2017. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there was such a void for
Mm-hmm.
a group that God has given me, and I knew when the different groups I was in, I was being blocked from really talking and things like that, which I, always was trying to be respectful of, whoever the group leaders were, and wanted to share my testimony of celibacy or my testimony, and it's like they were, more so letting other stuff through. So I said, it's okay, God. I know that, He was really pressed upon me to start CS, and so I did. And we have over about 5,000, 6,000 members now, and this has been about 3 or 4 years, and it's really been a safe place of healing and restoration for Christian singles. And no, we don't date in that group necessarily. I have a dating group called GBD, God's Promise Dating Group, but in CS, it's more so of spiritual edification, creating healthy dialogue between men and women of God, accountability, and really just walking in that spiritual edification piece. So for me, leaping, I love that word leaping.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to leaping, a lot of times when I think of leaping, you're actually hopping out of something too. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And a lot of times when we stay in places too long where we're not supposed to, God has to go ahead and make us uncomfortable. So we have to go ahead and leap. So there's either two options: you either stay there in the hot water like a frog, or you leap on out of that pot. you know, you leap on out of that pot. So for me, I've been kind of pushed in a place where I've had to leap, because God's like, where you are now, you've outgrown that. And
Yeah.
you have to understand that you need to be more comfortable with the unfamiliar, because unfamiliar is where you belong. So even
Yeah.
right now, the unfamiliar is where I belong, changing different thought patterns that I once had, moving away from certain people that I once were friends with, and certain things I used to engage in. And even just from last year, like Sister Karen, we were both talking about that, God, helping us get through things and stuff like that, but not even bad situations. It was just things that were mediocre,
Yeah.
relationships, friendships that promoted mediocrity, or, just things like that. And so for me, I had to leap because I had to. And the thing about it is that many are called, but really few are chosen. So when you're chosen, you don't, and I don't say that in a cocky way, because I'm always saying, Jesus, if it's possible, the cup can go ahead and pass. If it's possible, God, if it's possible, right? But when you're chosen, you don't really get a choice,
Yeah.
because your time is not your time, it's God's time.
Yeah.
Your life is not your own, so you have to do it. So for me, more so, I leaped because I had to leap, and I wanted to do it, but I had to leap, not necessarily leap in the way I wanted to leap, because it was very painful, but I had to do it. And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm here doing everything that I'm doing now. I just shifted my music genre, which was that was a tough thing to do. When you've been marketed as a Christian artist and you're no longer marketing yourself that way, and you are still Christ, nothing has changed within you, but people they put you in a certain stereotype and box that you're not even in. And so that's been tough too. And I had to leap. So listen, I had to leap all the way out last year, and here I am now. And so, yeah, I just thank God for it. Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing that you said that, because I remember when you were transitioning into that other arena of music, and you got the world looking
Yeah.
and saying otherwise. Well, they're Christians. Okay, yeah, yeah, you are, and you can have fun too, and you can still edify God by being clean and
Right.
everything. But people want to be like, oh, well, that's again like R&B, or that's R&B. Okay.
But Christians but see, that's the thing. Like, Christians be falling in love too. Christians be getting their heart broken. Like, God, what happened? Like, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, we need, Sister Chen, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's another thing which is so important about what you do, but what Sister Karen does, is that having that transparency, you guys. Like, people need to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the heartbreak. People talk about trials, but we need to see people in them, right? We need to see people working through things to get through things. And, all of that can happen through the way God uses each of us in the different ways that he uses us. And even like music is a way to touch people's heart and soul. But again, I'm praying for the church to become more transparent.
Yeah.
Because even my parents, they've told me, they're like, you go out and do what God has called you to do. Like you just said, Sister Karen, you can be clean. And it's like, it's hard when people cannot, that when you're being clean and you love God, but you're just being real and you're just being yourself. And I don't have to compromise to do that. And that's what I'm praying that, I pray that the church will be able to see that one day.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Tanzania, do you want to piggyback off of that or have anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I will. Can y'all hear me? So that was so great. And I think as believers, we have to begin to understand that light cannot cannot illuminate hidden truth. So if we as believers are only amongst believers, then how can we ever reach the lost if we're always amongst believers? And so you changing your genre of music, it does nothing but give you opportunities to share the light of Christ. Because some people will never listen to Christian gospel music because it's a stigma around it. But they'll listen to Christian music, gospel music, and God can meet them right there where they are. And so I think it's so amazing that you are able to make that release and not allow fear to grip you, not to allow opposition to grip you, but to just say, all right, God, we out here with you on this water, and we gonna walk. No matter what anybody says. So that was amazing. I think I can say a ton about that, but I think it's amazing. And once we learn that transparency, people will say and see that God is He who actually said He is. We have all been at a lost point in our life. We've all been at a point in our life where we just didn't have it all. And I think
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think you was finished. No, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cook. I didn't know if you was finished or not. That's why I didn't say nothing. Can you hear? Oh no, we can't. We can't hear you. Okay, she'll come. I think she'll come back in. Tansy, you're on me. Okay, she's probably gonna come back in. I think her signal was off. But sometimes we just have to, you guys, I was just talking about broadcast and you know how some things we have to like start over and look, don't give up, just start over. But yeah, thank you so much, Sister Alena and Tansy for sharing. But I wanted to piggyback off of what you and Tanzania were saying, and I know she'll be back. But every day is not going to be a good day. I mean, and like you guys were saying, Christians we do mess up because we're human, but we have the mind to want to get it right because we love God, we love Christ or whatever. There's going to be certain things that we're going to need help with, and that's why we have God, because we're going to need God to strengthen us. And so nobody should label anyone, and because we're all in this together. And so that's why it's so important for us to pull, from one another, to get strengthened from one another. So you can be like, okay, if you did it, I know that I can make it. I know that I can come out of this. And so, like you said, we hurt too. We fall in love, we fall out of love, so that was good, what you guys said, that, we need to be able to, like you guys said, we need to be able to be transparent. So when somebody comes to us or needs encouragement or needs to be loved, or we can be able to share our story, not a fake story, not a fake story, but a real story.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So, and Tiffany, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you the last little bit of part of what you were saying.
It's fine, y'all. Listen, this is a transparent moment. When you begin to leap into your destiny, the
Hmm.
enemy, the world, the universe, whatever you want to believe, it gets real nervous and mad. And I know for me, not about anybody else, but for me, this is something that has always been in my belly. But I recently was like, okay, am I supposed to do this? And so I don't know what just happened with my phone. Well, no, I do know what happened. You tell people you're doing something, and then you still want to call you and disrupt you and da 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 da. And so even in the midst of that, my whole phone shut off. What in the world? But that is what happens when you step out of the boat and you start walking on the water. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? The universe, the devil, whatever you believe, it gets angry because it's something on the inside of you that you might want somebody else. So I can't remember what I was saying, Karen. I forget real easily, but I'm just happy to be here. And I just, I'm very transparent. Sometimes probably too transparent, but that was a moment that it just let me know that I was supposed to be here. It let me know that I was supposed to be doing this. And so keep on keeping on, Karen, as the old folks say. Um, and I'm so very proud of you. And I can't wait to see. This is 1 year. I can't wait to see what happens on a year two. So I'm going to go back on mute because
Okay.
I'm
Thank you,
hot.
Tiffany. I love you. But yeah, yeah. When I think about um, even transparent moment for me, as Tanzania was just sharing about, being transparent or whatnot, and gosh, you remember me and you, Minister Alena, we did gosh, I remember God had me do a 3-day series on Periscope in April of last year, and about how today I was just coming out of something just then, and I was like, God, is you sure you want me to? You want me to? Why you want me to do this when I'm still I'm still, healing. I'm still healing with you. You still got me, in a place with you. And he was like, yes, I need you to do this. But when I did it, I felt so much better, and I began to share. I think it was me and Minister Elaine, and two other ladies. I began to, share the transparent moment and where God pulled me out of, and God had to send me a ram in the bush. And of course, we always ask God, well, God, why you didn't just tell me first, And when God confirmed it, God was like, you wouldn't have been able to hear me. You wouldn't even be able to hear me because you were such in your own little space. You was on in your own little world. But when I surrendered, now I'm not gonna say kinda because I had to fully surrender. And after I, had a fit, after I pouted and everything, the Spirit of the Lord said, but you done that. You done that. You had a choice. You stayed where you want to stay for that amount of time. Yeah, I did my little boo-hoos and cries or whatever, but when I look back, it wasn't even that long. I tell people it didn't last that long. The cries, it didn't last that long because I allowed God to hold me. I allowed God to heal me. And I told God, I want your best. I didn't know anything. I was saying, God, I just want your best. I don't know. I'm shaking like a leaf on a feather or something, blown away. I said, but I want your best or whatever. It wasn't until then when God started confirming and revealing things to me that I didn't ever think that he would tell me. And I'm like, oh, so this is what you've been trying to tell me or whatever. But the thing about it is, and I know it's in St. John chapter 20, when Jesus told Thomas that, Thomas, he said, I tell you that blessed are those who believe but yet have not seen. And God, kept ministering me to that scripture to me for a month, even last year, even after I did the series. And he said that the part of the grand thing about it is you didn't know what I was going to even give you a glimpse of. You didn't know what I was going to show you. You just surrender. You had your hands open. You said, Lord, I surrender. I didn't know what you had. I said, but I know what you have is going to be greater. And I tell people it was hard. It was very hard for me because I kept saying to myself, well, why I wasted all this time? But you didn't waste any time. I just want to share with you all that you didn't waste any time. What you did is you just grew. You just learned. Oh, I don't need it. I don't have to settle for this. I don't have to compromise for this because God wants my life to be prosperous. He wants my purpose to be prosperous. He wants my money to be prosperous. He wants my children to be prosperous. He wants um my husband, my future husband, to be prosperous. He wants all of that for me. He's saying, do you really want what I have? And the two questions you can only answer is yes or no. I said yes. I mean, you have a choice to say no and be like, well, God, I'm just going to stay here. But I knew that wasn't going to be no good for me. And so that was a very transparent, even moment for me, because there were weeks and weeks where I just had to go down the road and just cry and talk to God in the car and just get myself together and be like, okay, God, I hear you. I see you, but you gotta be open to change. And that's why I said the complacent episode was one of my favorites, because you gotta be open to change. You gotta be open into saying, okay, God, I'm going. You can't have a closed mouth of saying, oh, I'm gonna stay where I'm at, because see, I don't even know if that over there on the other side is, what if I run into this again? You ain't gonna run into nothing bad when you with God. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a transparent moment for me. Minister Elaine, I know that, you have some moments, where you just had to be transparent, especially in the Christian singles group, about certain things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, I appreciate you for being transparent, sis, and saying that. And also, too, you spoke to something when God was prompting you to do the Periscope, and it's kind of like, in a way, I know how you feel, because it's kind of like, well, God, am I in position to be talking to anybody right now about nothing? Am I qualified to be giving any type of advice, not even advice, but trying to give some counsel? And the thing about it is that God uses us, in so many different ways. And
Yeah.
like the greatest ways that God blesses us is through our transparency. Even in our transparency, what I love even about you, Sister Karen, is that even in transparency is we are going through this, but we're not going to stay there.
That's right.
That's the thing, is that, okay, we fell down, we had this, yes, we got up, but let's keep doing all that we can to move forward and grow in this
Yes.
area, because even in CS, when I was being transparent, I told him, I said, look, I said, this is where I am, but I also had to come to terms with, okay, like, I have to also let them know what are my plans to get better. What are my plans to not put myself in certain situations? You know what I'm saying? And I think that the thing is that we have to give transparency with resolve.
Yes. Yes.
And you've done such a beautiful job of doing this, and I love your obedience to God as well. And for me, when it comes to transparency, sometimes I feel, and even Sister Tanzania was just saying she thinks she's too transparent, but I don't. I don't want to say you can never really be too transparent. I mean, I think that what happens is that sometimes when we're amongst the wrong people, we can share things that audience is not necessarily ready to hear or ready for, right? Mm-hmm. But there's always that one person who needs to hear it. But I think that we need to continue to be transparent. Yes. I think that God uses this the most, to say, and honestly, I don't have it all together, and that's why I never want to pretend like I do, because I don't, right?
Right.
I'm desiring and to continue to just take one step for the other to live a life that is holy and pleasing, acceptable to God. But I also understand that He loves to use His weak ones. He loves to use those who know that they boast in their weakness, because it's in Him where we have strength, right?
Right.
So yeah, I've had to be transparent so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling everybody, and I know we got to get up off of here, because I know you got I want to have the time too, sis, but my mom's looking for me. But
okay.
But I want to say, and she loves you too, by the way.
And tell her I said hey and love her.
I sure will. It's funny, because I was telling God, and I was in CS, and I know people were laughing at me. I don't know if you saw it, but I said, God, I told people, don't even match me up with nobody. I'm so tired. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm lied. Like, God, it's over for me. Like, I'm done. And it's not even because I was trying to give up on the desire for marriage, but I was just so tired. I was like, but also I had to tell these guys, I said, but Alena, you got to look at, why were you alive to them in the first place? Come on, sis. Come on, let's have a seat. Have a seat. You're on here teary-eyed, telling everybody how you're done, and you know, if you're tired of games, which I am, but
Yep.
why? But you saw them play Monopoly and Jenga, and you still move your little piece on the board. Get up, take your purse, and leave. Why are you sitting at the game?
That's
Right?
right.
So it's like we have to be honest, but that transparency is also let me be honest with me.
Yes. Yes.
Because we want God to do everything, which yes, God's gonna do what we can't, but He also wants us to heal and to
Yes.
grow and to
Yes.
apply that we're learning from that lesson of the situation we were in. Because see,
Yes.
and I like to say this is that even in transparency, this is what I love about you, sis, too, because you always bring it home, right? Is that we're gonna have transparency, but transparency is not abusing grace. I have to be clear about that because some people go,
Right.
"Oh, well, I'm transparent. I said it. Yeah, you said it, but what are we gonna do now?"
Right. Exactly.
Because we can be
Exactly.
transparent, but listen, okay, you're okay, or now it's okay now. Romans 6 tells us how long, okay, Paul said
Exactly.
how long, okay, right? So I think that when we are being transparent, what we don't want to be is people who are, oh, we don't have no faults, we're this, we're that, we're trying to upkeep something. No, what we want to do is to tell people this is what's happened in our lives, this is what happens, and this is what takes place when we do this or when we don't do this, right? And then
Right.
also on this is what I've been going through. This is what I've sat through where you've sat, but this is what I'm doing actively to not repeat that or to get into a space where I'm supposed to be at.
Right.
And always want to promote that resolve, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what's beautiful about what you do is because you say, like, you said something, and I know we got to go. I just want to say, you said something last year during the CS thing. You said something about how when you were cutting off a particular gentleman, you say, you know what, God, I'm going cold turkey. And that hit my
Mm-hmm.
spirit. No, I'm not calling nobody to come lay in bed with me because I'm lonely. Not even
Amen.
having sex, but just I'm not texting nobody. I'm not on my phone because you had to get to a place.
Yeah.
And that hit me because I was like, you know what? And not that I even had anyone to call like that, but
Right.
but still, for me, it's still when I have those urges to call somebody or when I have those urges to, well, let me go see. No, you're not going to go see. You're going to go sit down. Parents.
Right.
Because you were doing such a strong act of faith. You said, God, no, like, I
Yeah.
don't want to get in the way of what you have for me. I'm not using no crutches. I am literally just depending on you. You are all that I need, God, and I'm not going to put a man above you, God. I'm keeping you
Yeah.
number one. That really just blessed my whole spirit. I had to say that because you did in the podcast. I said, sis is speaking to me now. God is using her.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just like I had so much fun too with you all, especially you, Sister Lane, all of you, you, Sister Tansy, Michelle Schutz, she was on here last night. Michelle Renee, Sister Tyrce, Davis. I had so much fun with you guys, and we had so much growth on the podcast. And this is something that we need, like you said, we need to collaborate and network and lift each other up. So I just thank you so much. Minister Alena, my sister, my dear friend. And it's just amazing how God connects, each and every one together. And so before we go, I just want you to let everyone know your handles and even how they can vote for you, even in the pageant.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, thank you, Karen. Thank you, my sis. I love you. Thank you so much. I can't wait for us to take some trips together.
I know.
Yes, ma'am. And we're both November babies. Hey, we're just 4 days apart. Hey,
yay, November.
Yep. Yeah, so where you guys can find me is Alena L. Walker on Facebook. Pretty much on Instagram, it's at Alena L. Walker. And then also Alena Lurie. So it's my first name, Marie, but drop the M and put an L. So it's Alena Lurie. Okay, so that's ALENA. Then it's LARIE. So at Alena Lurie, and then on Facebook as well. Then also you can follow me on my Alena L. Walker Ms. Washington Globe 2021 page. And you can find all that information on my page. And also my link to vote for me is also on my page as well at the mrsglobe.com website.
Awesome. I love you, sis. tell everyone hello, Kimberly. And we'll definitely be in touch and we'll definitely connect. And thank you, everybody, for watching the Driven Life Show. It's 1 year. Yay. Oh, and before we go, I'm just make the big announcement because Sister Tanzania told me to make the big announcement. So we do have the Driven Life Show do have a live studio now. So if you're in the area and you want to come and interview live in North Carolina, we do have a physical location, and we even do have a physical location for one-on-one coaching sessions or either just interviewing for the podcast. So if you want to know more about that, you know how to get in touch with me on my page and email me. So I love you all. Thanks so much for tuning in for these last 2 nights. I love you, Minister Alena, and everyone who showed up. And I will see you guys next week for a new episode. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Yes, thanks everyone for tuning in to the WCD coaching podcast, the Driven Life Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys, for the last 2 nights. It was an honor for me to even have the ladies on. I even had my co-pastor on last night, and then you guys got to meet another one of my sisters, Sister Alena, Minister Alena, Laree Walker. And so, you guys, you know, we always bring to you an episode every Thursday from the WCD Coaching Podcast, The Driven Life Show. It is the Driven Life Show, and you can find the Driven Life Show on your favorite podcast platforms. If you have any questions or you want to email me about consultations to find out how we interview and what our brand is about, you can book a consultation before a podcast interview on our website at KarenThePodcaster.com. And if you want to find out about what our brand is, and if you didn't get a chance to hear a bio about the company, just go ahead and look up the website at www.karenwcdcoaching.com, and I will get in touch with you if you have any questions, any feedback, need any help from us or what we do. Feel free to reach out. Don't forget, you know what I'm saying, to listen to your favorite episodes on the podcast. And we will be back here next week with another episode before June hits. And then I will share with you guys the June monthly topic. I also have another announcement to make that I was on interview on 2 podcasts. So you guys, I will share the link with you all. And I hope to hear from you guys and hear your feedback. And we'll be back with another episode next week. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye bye.